Hey everybody, Aaron here. Just want to do a quick video on beginner chord switching. So this is going to be for people who are just getting into this. They might have a G chord down and an E minor, okay? But the trick is when we have to switch those in time, they're getting kind of stuck and they're slow and they're out of time, etc., etc. So I'm going to give you a couple pointers here on how to get your flow going between chords, okay? So I'm going to use this app here on my phone. It's called Tempo. It's just a metronome. You can use any metronome you want. This one works for me. I've got it set at 60. You could go slower if you want. But your first exercise that I find helpful is to play a chord for a whole note, then have a rest for a whole note. And during that rest time, that's when you're moving your fingers. And then on the new one, you're playing the new chord. So let me give you an example of that. Here's the clicker. So I'm going to go like this. I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. Now I got 4 beats to switch my fingers to E minor. 2, 3, 4. Now I got 4 beats to switch back to G. Okay, now I got 4 beats to switch to E minor. And then 4 beats to switch back to G. Okay, so you might be thinking, oh, that's pretty easy, you know, I got 4 beats. But that's training you to come in on the one with the new chord with good time. Okay, so if that's not pressuring you enough, then let's switch the amount of beats that we're resting there in half, so to like 2. So we'll play a half note of a chord, and then we'll only have 2 beats to move fingers and then a half note. Let's give an example of that. So 1, 2, ready, go. I've got 1, 2, and I'm going to switch on 2, 1, 2, and I'm going to switch on 2, 1, 2, and I'm going to switch on 2, switch on 2. Okay, so again, you know, we're keeping good time, you know, even though maybe those 2 beats again are you know, it's a little easy for you, right? But you're still, you've said, okay, hey, I'm going to play 2 beats. I'm going to come in on that 3rd beat. Good time, right? This whole thing is about making good time. Okay, so what if we cut it down to a quarter now? So now you only have 1 beat to move your fingers. It starts getting a little bit fast here, okay? So let's listen to that. 2, 3, 4. We have 1 switch on a beat, 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 1 switch, 1 switch, 1 switch. All right, so you can do this with any chords you're working on, but what we're doing is systematically cutting in half the amount of time between your switches so that you're getting a little more pressure on you, but you're also practicing playing in time, etc. So, of course, the goal is, you know, when we have 4 beats of G to 4 beats of E minor, on that 4th beat, we're switching in between the beats. So like, you know, 1, 2, 3, 4, switching in between right before 1, 3, 4. Okay, and this is where it gets challenging. So let's talk about that. So I always tell the little kids or the younger guys, this arm, I think of it as attached to a robot, and it's never going to stop no matter what. And then this hand over here has to catch up. And so you might start to make these switches and not get all your fingers down on the chords, but we want to keep this thing moving, right? You have to practice time. And your brain eventually will, this hand will force this hand to be in time. So let's give an example of that. I'm going to pretend that I'm not perfect, so to try to make a point here, but check this out. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. I make my switch to E minor, maybe only get 1 finger on the 1st beat. I go back to G and go maybe 2 fingers and then Okay, so I don't know if you caught that, but my arm didn't stop and I was trying to pretend that I couldn't make it in time. But that's good practice, and you have to practice like that. What you do not want to do is this. 2, 3, 4. You don't want to go like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, wait a minute here. All right, I got the E minor. Well, now I'm, what, 5 beats too late, right? You can't do that, okay? So try that with the chords you're working on. Systematically build up and reduce the amount of time in between the beats, practicing good time until eventually you get to switching between the beat. And when that happens, remember, think your right hand has to keep moving, all right? So I hope this is helpful to you. Let me know in the comments, because I find that this is like a major part of beginning guitar, even in intermediate, like getting your timing dialed and focusing on timing more than getting the chords to sound perfect, all right? Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Catch you next time. Bye-bye.